Hey everybody, welcome to Imagine That. I'm Tim Parker,
And I'm Zach Rickhart.
and we're here to catch up with you today. It's Thanksgiving week, so we're excited about food like we always are. We've got turkey, we've got all kind of stuff coming to us this week. So
We always talk about food on these live streams.
I know it.
I'm noticing a pattern. We might need to get a different sign.
you think so?
Can it be Imagine the Food?
Well, remember we talked about making an Italian restaurant and calling it Imagine the Possibilities.
Oh, the dad jokes are great.
Zach and I are here to catch up with you and talk about fam trips. We just returned back from one just a little over a week ago. Had a great trip. We actually were supposed to probably do a live stream last week, but we were so jet lagged coming in on Monday.
I think I fell asleep on my desk.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
I'm pretty sure that
3 o'clock came and went.
I'm pretty sure Rick said no live stream.
No.
Don't need you falling asleep in the middle of it. So
It was probably for the best.
Yeah.
I think at 3 o'clock is when we hit that threshold of, okay, it's 9 o'clock in Germany.
yeah, time to go to bed.
Yeah, it did not work for me.
Yeah, so we pushed it off till this week. So we're hoping that we've got a few people that are looking forward to hearing about what a fam trip looks like and the fam trip opportunities that we have and how you would go about getting engaged in that and planning your own tour. So, Zach, you want to kind of talk about what a fam trip is?
Ooh, do I? So a fam trip is when you bring all of your family members together. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, so a fam trip, which we dub as a familiarization trip, it's a experience for pastors to go and kind of see the sites, see what we do. If you've never been to, say, Israel or Greece or Germany, it's a great opportunity to go and see it for yourself before you actually bring a group. So it's almost kind of like a taste test if we talk about food.
Hey.
It's like tasting the dish or maybe doing a cake test before your wedding.
Yeah.
I did a few of those.
Yeah, I bet you did.
It shows.
We didn't do that back in the
No.
day. We
No?
just bought a cake and hopefully it was
that was
good.
it.
Yeah.
You hoped it was good.
Yeah. But yeah, familiarization tour. They get to go over, experience hotels, the types of
Yep.
hotels that we get to use, the services that we have overseas, to see to walk through the itinerary that we normally would use, and also to give them an opportunity to maybe see where they might be
Yeah.
willing to do some teaching
Absolutely.
time from. Also hear the guides and how they kind of experience everything that the guides share while they're over there. So a great time for pastors to be able to go over and really experience everything and see the benefit of leading their churches back to these sites, whether it be Israel, we've got Greece.
We have a lot of
Yeah.
Israel, I think, coming up.
Yeah.
I think we've got a few Greece.
Yep. Towards the end of this, we're going to talk about some of the fam trip opportunities that we have through Israel, Greece, the Reformation. We have some river cruise opportunity. That one's going to
I'm
be.
a little jealous of the river cruises. Just saying.
I got to tell you, it's amazing.
I've yet to go and I really, really want to. I might sneak in your suitcase.
You think so?
Yeah. If you're over the weight limit, it's okay. I'll slip you a 20.
Yeah. Well, I think it's more than 20 though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
We'll get it figured out how to get you over there.
It's cheaper than the flight ticket.
Yeah. That's true.
See?
Put you some oxygen in there.
Oh yeah, there is a lack of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm below the deck.
Yeah.
It might not work out.
But we want to talk about, Zach and I just want to kind of share about what our fam trip we went to Switzerland,
France,
and
Germany, yeah. So we had to see a little bit of the highlights. I mean, I guess that's what we would call it, is a highlight trip, and it kind of shows maybe not everything we do, because our program was pretty advanced. We tried to cover a lot of ground. It was 8 days in total, but about 6.5 days on land. And so that was a good amount of time to get to know everyone, early mornings, and see things on probably a faster timeline than what you would normally do with your own trip. And
yeah, specifically this tour, you would want to add probably a couple of days to the tour, just to kind of slow things down a little bit. But we were there to get people to experience as much as they could in a short amount of time, and we experienced a lot. We flew into Geneva, spent some time at Reformation Wall, and where John Calvin would have preached from while he was in Geneva. And multiple guys that we were able to hear about John Calvin, Zwingli, Farrell, Bez, John Knox. I mean, there were a lot of guys that we got to learn about while we were there. And then we transferred to, where did we go after that? We went to Zurich.
Yeah, we did go to Zurich.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Zurich.
Yeah.
It was very cold though.
It was a little chilly that day.
Yeah.
But we got to spend time hearing about Zwingli, which he would have been home based right there in Zurich, and how his thoughts led the Reformation in Switzerland, as well as we got to learn a little bit about the Anabaptists and how they were.
Because that's coming up, isn't it?
That Anabaptist celebration, the 500th anniversary of that, I believe, is in May of 25.
Okay, so that's right around the corner.
Yeah, and we do have a tour that's set up for that. If you want to find out about that Anabaptist tour, then you can reach out to us at sales@ittworld.com.
Absolutely.
You can give us a call at 863-709-9208, and Zach or I would love to catch up with you. Andrew's also available to catch up and chat about that tour. But the Anabaptist tour is coming up. The Gingriches
Dennis and Linda
are leading that. We're excited about that. So if you have any thoughts or you have interest in going and being a part of that, give us a call and we'll tell you how to get signed up for that tour.
Absolutely.
So Zurich, then we ended up in Strasbourg. So
that was fun.
Yeah.
Great coffee.
Yeah, that was
That was my highlight.
You spent some time with one of the guys.
One of our guys, yeah. We went and found a local coffee shop. I loved just the entire experience of Strasbourg. I mean, obviously there is the religious side of things, but just the town itself, the architecture, the history. I mean, even if you weren't going for a familiarization trip, like, it's such a great place. I could easily spend 3 days there alone.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a big city.
Yeah, it's a big city. It's a great place to spend time walking around, spending some time in coffee shops, restaurants. You got to try the first time.
It was like a flatbread. I don't know what it was. It was almost on a cracker. I don't remember the name. Best meal of the entire trip.
Yeah.
Best meal, hands down.
Yeah, flambe tart or something.
Yeah,
like that.
tart, something tart.
Tart flambe.
Yes.
So he got to try that first. Rick and I had already tried that. They call it something else in Switzerland, and it was amazing.
It was really good.
Yeah, good stuff.
I could go back for that alone.
Yep, and the cathedral there. So Matthias, as we're walking down the alleyway, which was our guide, and amazing guide, and
Absolutely.
we just love him and his wife Sarah dearly. But we are walking down, and he stops the whole group. He says, "I want to hear the wow moment." You remember that?
The wow moment. Yep. So we all stopped, and there's a corner that you'll round, and we won't spoil it by any means, but you get up to the corner, and he says stop. So everyone's kind of like getting very excited.
Yeah.
And it really is a wow moment. You come around and you see it, whatever the it is.
Yeah.
It was a wow moment.
It is
I
wow.
thought it was overhyped for a second, and then I saw it and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
This
You
is
did
a wow
say
moment.
You did
Yeah,
say
I did.
wow.
I think I have it on film somewhere.
Yeah, we did that. So I've had the wow moment twice. So I kind of stood back and watched because your dad and I did that back in February. But so I was kind of expecting it. But yeah, even for the second time, it's pretty wow.
I had a feeling I knew it was coming, but still seeing it, I've seen the pictures. I look at them every day.
Yeah.
But seeing it in person, completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. So amazing town to visit. You actually even get to, so we do that on the Reformation fam.
Yep.
But you actually we do have a river cruise that we'll talk about later, that you actually get to experience Strasbourg as well. And you get to actually spend quite a bit of time walking around through there. So two different kind of views. The one that you and I were on, talking about Martin Brewster and how he kind of tried to get Martin Luther and Zwingli together to talk about some of their differences. And he was huge in Strasbourg. So again, Geneva, Zurich, Strasbourg, and then we headed into Germany.
Yeah.
So,
And that was what I was looking forward to.
Yeah.
Because of the food. But that's besides the point.
Well, and you did tell me that was your favorite part of the trip.
That was my favorite part of the trip, because I think our next stop was Heidelberg.
Yep.
That was cool. And actually, before we got to Heidelberg, is that when we saw the city that was kind of like trapped in time?
Yeah, we spent some time in Rickvier.
Rickvier.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah. And it's an old, Rickvier is a beautiful town, trapped in time. As far as, the timbers, the houses were built in the I don't know, the 1100s, 1200s.
Long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. And ultimately, we shot off down a couple of little side alleys, and it actually was a town that was huge during World War II. They had a lot of photos, yeah. So a lot of photos from the time that whenever it was occupied, either by the Allies or by the Germans.
Yep.
And really some interesting history there. Some great cookies.
You did find some good cookies. What are they called? Macarons?
Macarons.
Macarons?
Yeah.
They were
really
good.
Yeah.
Minus the coconut.
The bakery smelled great.
The bakeries were amazing.
Yep,
and I think we even shared a pretzel.
We did.
So
it was good.
It was a good pretzel.
So, but we got to spend time there. We headed into then we headed into Heidelberg.
Yep.
Got to visit the castle where the Heidelberg Confession
That was a beautiful castle.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to we took the train up, and then Matthias said it's great to walk down, so we spent time walking down from up top.
I could have taken the train both ways. I could have.
Well,
I'm glad I got to experience it, because the views that you get on the way down, you don't get with the train.
Sure.
So the train was a great experience, because the second you go up, everything opens up. It's kind of like in the movie when you get out of the train station, it's like that white screen and then comes into color.
Yeah.
That's what it was for me, at least.
Yeah, I thought it was great. We had a lot. Well, there were a lot of people there actually.
There were.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
So we got to spend some time walking about around the Heidelberg Castle. Then we went down and toured the town. Great time. I know a lot of the ladies were hoping to get to go shopping.
I think they did.
They got to go shopping and spend some time there. Cuckoo clocks. I mean, all kind of
Cuckoo
stuff.
clocks galore.
Yes. Christmas stores.
And the Christmas market was actually being set up as we were getting ready to head out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we got to see a lot of Zurich, Geneva, Strasbourg, Heidelberg. All of them were beginning to set up for their Christmas markets, and those were opening up in just a couple of weeks.
yeah, I think in 2 weeks
Yep.
or this next week, I
Yep.
think it opens up.
Yep,
Because
I think
December is next week, yeah.
Yep.
Wow, time has flown by.
Yeah. So I know a lot of the ladies were looking forward to maybe planning some river cruises, and that's something that we'll talk about in a few as well. But
Absolutely.
we do have river cruises that are over there during that time frame where you can go and experience these Christmas markets. So,
I could go for just the Christmas markets.
Yeah.
I think that could be an entire trip, and I think that is an entire trip.
yeah, I think the lighting is they probably look amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever they start to light everything up. So, and they would spend a lot of time. I mean, it was not just decorations that they were throwing up. They were building shops and different things like that.
And it was cool to see that they actually built everything on site. You know, it's not just these little huts that are, put away for a few months a year. No, they build it every year, it looks like.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. So I look forward to seeing it. So hopefully if you guys are interested in that, we can help you get over there and experience that as well. So Heidelberg, went to Worms.
Yeah, we did good at Worms.
Everybody loved that. Of course, that's where Martin Luther says, "Here I stand, I can do no other."
Yep.
That was a big deal for the guys to be able to stand, and they actually have Martin Luther shoes that you can try to fill Martin's shoes and stand in them in the place that they feel like. Whenever there was a palace there, that was where he might have stood in the palace and actually stood up against what the emperor was asking him to do was to recant.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
There were some beautiful churches there that we got to step into and see.
Yep.
Or I guess they're called cathedrals.
Yep. So and that would have been an emperor's cathedral.
Yep.
Because there was a palace there. We got to go visit the big Martin Luther memorial or the monument.
That was huge.
Yeah, it was really big.
I've only ever seen it in pictures, and pictures are deceiving.
Yeah.
So that was a cool moment. And
Yeah.
you could see all the other reformers.
Yes.
So that was a huge bonus, because you kind of get to see everyone that helped make this movement what it is today.
Yep, I agree.
So
we left there. We went around to the Jewish cemetery. In fact, I want to say that's the oldest one in Europe, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah.
So some great time there. We actually were able to slide in under the wire. They were going to keep us out.
They were.
Matthias was like, "No, we're going in." So he got us in.
I will say, to add to that, we have really good guides when it comes to things like that, because they closed. The sign said they were closed. We got there too late. He somehow sweet talked them into letting us in.
Yeah.
We were able to see it. We stayed for probably 10, 15 minutes,
Sure.
which was great. So I'm glad we were able to experience that. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So
That was a great stop for us. And then I believe we shot over to Wartburg Castle the next day, and we hit Eisenach a little bit. We did Erfurt, and then we went up to Wartburg Castle, which is where.
Yes.
Do you remember? I think Luther was there, and he basically created the new German language that Germans speak today. He took High German, Low German, created the new German language, and then he translated the New Testament
into that language
from Latin into German, so that the Germans might be able to read the Bible, which was unheard of in the day. And he did it all in 6 weeks.
That's probably the most impressive part.
Yeah.
That was a quick turnaround.
Yeah. New Testament, 6 weeks, and then him and Melanchthon worked on the Old Testament, and that took them considerably longer. I want to say that one was years that it took them to do that.
A little bit more ground to cover.
And then ultimately, Gutenberg had made the printing press at that point.
And we got to see what one of the printing presses even looked like.
Yeah.
They had kind of restored one so that you could see it. That was cool.
Yeah, it was. So, got to do that. Of course, the printing press was a big deal because then it didn't take ultimately months or years for the scribes to be able to copy the Bible.
handwrite everything, yeah.
So they were able to print these and mass produce them basically to get them out to the people so they could begin to study Scripture that they'd never been able to study before.
Kind of moving.
Yeah, very. So we bounced from there to Wittenberg, and you remember what happened in Wittenberg?
I want to say, isn't that where the thesis was?
Yes.
Where he nailed the theses to the door?
Look at there, he's taking advantage of these fam trips.
It's almost like I learned something.
So the Castle Church, which would have been a part of the school as well.
Yep.
And he posted or had posted the 95 Theses to the door of the church, the Castle Church, where students actually entered from. So it was almost like a big poster board for people to see what people's different thoughts were.
What was going on at the time, yeah.
So that happened in Wittenberg, and then of course he ends up taking the Augustinian monastery that's at the opposite end of the town.
Yes.
We didn't get to visit that because it's under
it's under construction they're
refurbishing everything, and it'll open back up again in I believe 2026. We'll get those dates squared away, but they do have a little museum that kind of has a lot of Martin Luther's things in it, and they've done a really cool job of taking the ABCs basically and taking different pieces that are represented by that letter and showing Martin Luther's life. So, of course, we loaded up that day and drove to
Berlin.
Berlin, yeah. Getting in there just a little bit later than planned.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
Yeah, but we got to do a great bus tour. We got to see.
That was a fun bus tour.
Yeah.
It was almost like, if anyone's seen Pirates of the Caribbean where they're like running from one side of the ship to the other side of the ship, they're going back and forth. It's kind of what I felt like we were doing. It's, oh, look over there. Oh, look over there. Look over there.
Yeah.
So I think the bus was rocking.
Yeah, if you've been on one of our trips before, then you know sometimes it's kind of like drinking from a fire hose with all the information that you receive. Definitely that day, Matthias was talking in fast mode and sharing everything as we're going through town. But we got to see a lot. We got to see the Brandenburg Gate.
We did.
We got to see the Holocaust Memorial. Actually spent some time there.
We drove through Checkpoint Charlie.
Checkpoint Charlie. Got to go to some of the where the Berlin Wall was still standing.
Yep. Some of the houses of Parliament, or at least their variations of it.
Yeah.
We saw most of the embassies actually, or at least drove by them.
Sure.
What else did we see? We saw the what was the monument? The massive statue. It's in the town circle. It's that massive roundabout. I can't think of the name. It's made from the cannons that they had recovered, and then they gold-plated everything.
Yep.
I can't think of it.
Freedom Memorial. Or
yes, Freedom Memorial.
So, yeah, which are in a lot of the videos from World War II. In fact, I was just watching one today, and it's in the background. It didn't look as beautiful as it did the day that you and I were there to experience it.
They cleaned it up for us.
Yeah, it's in the big roundabout. So we got to take some photos of that and spend some time there. So Berlin, we had our final dinner at the Hofbrauhaus.
That was a hoot.
Yeah.
And do you want to tell them what you did?
What are you talking about?
Oh man,
Was it the polka?
I think so. I think we need to have a week where it's just Tim teaching line dancing.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do. Just 1 week, that's all we talk about is Tim's line dancing. That was the highlight of my trip.
I think it was the schnitzel. I think you liked the schnitzel more.
Oh, and the schnitzel.
Yeah,
that was
really
good.
good. So, but our last night there, and then we were up early the next morning to head back. So, huge area to cover. We went from Geneva to Berlin and all points in between, and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. And actually, as I'm sitting here and I'm reading through our chat, it looks like we're joined by Rick, who you actually danced with his wife that night. So that was funny.
Yeah, Linda
I think
was,
Rick's got some video of that. I might need to. I might need to bug him for that.
That's crazy.
See if I can accidentally post it to our Facebook page.
Yeah, it's yeah, I see Rick on there, and he's talking about.
I just caught it.
Oh, that's funny. So, but we had a great trip, and that was part of the fun.
That was part of the fun.
Yeah.
And that's actually what we do for a lot of our farewell dinners is we try to make them a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
You know, for people that haven't traveled with us, that is something that we do is,
Yeah.
you know, we keep things very serious throughout most of the trip, but we like to have fun.
Yeah, just to be a different experience. You've spent a lot of time doing certain things, so that dinner typically may look a little bit different than what some of
Sure.
your other dinners were. So.
A little bit less traditional setting.
Yeah. So great time on that trip. Had some great people that we were able to spend time with. Rick's making comments here. So Rick already has a Greece trip that's planned for next year. So if you're interested in maybe he's open to people joining that trip. So if you're looking to go to Greece next year, we would love to help you, and you don't have anyone that's leading one of those tours. We'd love to connect you with Rick and be able to get him to lead you to Greece and experience all that we have to offer there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So.
He was a great gentleman to work with.
Yeah, really enjoyed it.
So
A lot of other great people that we spent time with there. Just to kind of talk about this trip, we do have this same fam trip planned for next year.
Yep, next fall, right?
Yeah.
Same timeline.
Yeah, same.
Similar.
Yeah, you and I left on November 10th this year. This coming up year in 2025, it
it's
departs
a little
on
earlier?
November 3rd. Yeah.
Okay.
So November 3rd, but if you were looking to join that, you can go on and type in if you're a clergy. So if you have never traveled on a fam trip before, and you would like to go and experience the Reformation, then you can go on and type in Reformation 1125, Reformation 1125. That'll get you in there. It'll take you to the registration page so that you can register for that, and you can go experience everything that we just spent time talking about.
Absolutely. And I'll just point above, because that's where it is. It's not above us, but it's above them. But if they do want to go and just go to the website, there it is. So
Okay,
it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
I think we made that easy for
Yeah,
them.
good stuff.
And we have a bunch of other fam trips that are on that page. So maybe we can talk about those a little bit.
Yeah. Well, in fact, when we talk about Greece next,
I love Greece.
Yeah.
I actually did go back in June. I'm so excited.
you're going in June?
Yeah, surprise. I know. I love Greece. That is probably one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah.
So it's in my top 3.
So we were both there around the same time, beginning of October.
Yep.
You were there middle of October, really. Rick and I went a little ahead.
A little
of you guys.
earlier. Probably a couple days earlier.
Yeah.
Almost like a week.
So,
Yeah.
but we've got a couple of trips for Greece. We actually have a fam trip that's going off in April of this coming year. April, the 11th through the 21st.
Or maybe it's the 21st through the 30th.
Oh, is it? Okay.
So we have that one, but that is a 10-day trip, and it also includes the cruise. So you get a 3-night cruise with that,
Yeah.
which for me, I love the cruise. You get to see sites that you don't get to see on land. So that's a bonus. You get to see Santorini, you get to see Mykonos, you get to go to either Patmos or Rhodes, depending on the sailing. I think it's Patmos this year, this coming one.
Yeah.
And then I think for 26, it's Rhodes.
Okay.
But I might have that backwards.
Okay. So, but if you would like to potentially lead, if you'd like to look at leading a tour and you've never been to Greece and you want to go experience that so you can see what those familiarization tours look like,
Absolutely.
then you can go onto our website and look up Imagine Fam G25, Imagine Fam G25.
Yep.
And that's going to get you to the registration page for that Greece trip.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
That'll be a good trip.
yeah,
I've done that trip a few times.
that's an amazing trip. We don't have anything that's not amazing.
No, I don't know that. I mean, granted, I'm biased. I don't know that I've been on a bad trip.
Yeah. So that one's really going to experience a lot of the footsteps of Paul. The one that we were just talking about with the Reformation is leading through a lot of church history
Absolutely, yeah.
and different things like that. And of course, we also have Israel that's coming up.
We do.
We've got several trips for Israel next year.
We have a lot of Israel trips.
Yeah.
Which is a little surprising. I know that, people are probably still off put by everything that's going on, but things are starting to look productive. I don't know if you saw the news, but today it looks like things are finally headed in the right direction. There's talks of a potential ceasefire of some sort. There's talks of just the fact that maybe we can finally find some agreement on what everything looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details myself. That's just what the headline was, but I personally, I'm going to be traveling to Israel at least once next year.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm definitely going.
Oh, absolutely,
So,
yeah.
In fact, we were supposed to go in December. I think we decided to move that off until the first part of next year. So,
Okay.
But still planning to travel over there. In fact, I would have still liked to have gone in December, but I think we just couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, it's too close to Christmas.
Plus, my wife was probably ready for me to be home.
Yeah, you were out a lot this
We've been
year.
traveling
You've
a
been on a
bunch.
few trips.
Yeah.
But I think you're going this next year on that trip, so it works out in the end.
Yeah. So we've got several possibilities for you to go to Israel next year. We've got a trip in March. We have one in December. We have one. So those are the couple of times that we have available for you next year, and potentially there can be more than that. But that's what we have set right now. And then once you start looking into 2026, if you want to wait that far out, we have one in January, around January 7th.
I think so, yeah.
And then the last one that we have planned right now in 26.
February?
Yeah.
I think it's February
Yeah.
of 2026. So we've got them planned out pretty far.
Yeah. So lots of opportunity for you to go over and experience what Israel looks like if you've never been before, or if you just want to. We even have the opportunities for you to go back to be able to come back and speak from a personal point of view about what's going on in Israel, so that you can even promote your trip. So
Absolutely.
we'd love for you to go over and be a part of that. So again, if you have any questions about Israel or any of the fam trips that we've already talked about, you can get in touch with us at sales@ittworld.com. You can email us in there, or you can give us a call at 863-709-9208, and we would love to catch up and talk to you about that. Last one, which
I think this is your favorite. So I'll let you handle this. I mean, I know you've done a lot of the talking, but I know that this is what you love. And this is also what your wife loves.
Yeah.
River cruises.
Yeah, Joni will jump on board this trip anytime we go.
And she doesn't travel. I feel like we should say that. She's not one that goes, I really want to travel, Tim.
Yeah, want to go to Israel with you again. She's been already to Israel a couple of times, and she would go again because she loves the people over there. But if I ever
hears
said
river cruise,
if I ever
she's
said
gone.
river cruise, yeah, with or without me.
Oh
she's
yeah,
going.
She'll leave you. Tim's got to work. It's okay. I'll go on the river cruise for him. She'll send us pictures. She'll send selfies.
Yeah,
we had a great time.
We had an amazing time. But this river cruise is this coming May,
Okay.
May 13th, 2025. It is you board the cruise in Basel, France, and you sail all the way to Amsterdam. You got quite a few stops in between.
I'm jealous of this program.
Yeah, we get to go to one of your favorite places, which is Strasbourg.
That was a good place.
Yep. We do Heidelberg, which was another one of your
Loved
favorite
Heidelberg.
places. Yep. We do a couple other stops in Germany. We hit Cologne, and then you end up in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous. It's bittersweet. I'm glad that other people get to go, but I'm upset that I'm not one of those people.
Maybe you could trade your June Greece for I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe
I'll think about it.
Talk about that.
I really like Greece.
Yeah.
But I think that trip actually, the river cruise, I think it's limited. I think there's only a few seats, and I don't want to take that from someone.
Yeah. So right now, if you are interested in possibly doing the river cruise next year, we really need to hear from you quickly on that one. We only have, I think, 5 spots left. I'm being told 4 spots left.
Yeah.
So,
Might be even as few as 3 spots left.
I'm sorry. I wasn't sure. The fingers in the dark. So, but we've got 3 spots left. So, a couple and a single is left for what we have left for that trip. So we need to. If you are thinking about jumping on board for that, we need to go ahead and get signed up for that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But I know that, people are probably sitting at lunch, and as much as they love to see our beautiful faces, we should probably, ask if anyone has questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We want to see if people have questions. So, do we have any questions? Nothing that's popped through? Rick's just been talking about all the stuff that he's loved from the trip that he went on. So we're looking forward to. He's already posted up his website. If you want to go on and check on what he has coming up for his Greece tour, you can do that.
He's got a great organization.
Yeah.
So I got to hear all about it. I'm sold, and I do this for a living.
Yeah.
He sold me on going on one of his trips, and we're doing it.
But we've got a few minutes. If we have any questions that pop through, we'd love to catch up with you and answer those. But if not, we'll get ready to shut down so you can get back to your day.
Yeah, so they can get back to lunch while I think about what I enjoyed at my lunch.
Yeah.
We do always circle back to food. And we didn't really talk about food this much, but it's fine. I'll save food for another week. I know I'm obsessed with it. So
we've got a new live stream that we'll do again next Tuesday. We'll continue to do these live streams every Tuesday. If you are interested in bringing your own group, make sure that you email us at sales@ittworld.com. Let us know. All of our tours, our fam tours, are not customizable. You're going to go on those and you're going to experience those in a very large way, a way that you're going to be able to experience as much as possible. And then you can come back and potentially, not potentially, you can completely customize your trip on how you would like to go. If you'd like to go just exactly how we led that tour, then we can certainly do that.
We can mimic it identical. Or we can add insights that maybe you and I didn't even get to see.
Yeah.
So
we can do that. We can add in days with the same itinerary that completely slows that down, and you have some opportunity to spend a couple of restful days and just days touring some of the cities that you're already in, going back to visit some of the sites that you've already seen. So completely customizable, all of our tours.
Yeah.
So
and we can even add time for shopping for the wives, because I know that was very important on this fam trip, was
that
time for shopping.
That was one, if we had not added in that time in Heidelberg, we'd have been in trouble.
Yeah, I think it would have been a very, very short trip.
Yeah. Yes, we'd have been in trouble. So luckily we were able to add in that time. Are there any new...
Are there any new places we're considering?
We're always looking at new tours, Rick, and looking at... We have planned some tours to different locations with guys, and we're certainly open to any areas that you would like to travel. Of course, the majority of our trips are faith-based tours, but we have put together tours for different areas. So if you are thinking about traveling anywhere really in Europe, we would love to catch up and chat with you and see how we might be able to put that tour together for you.
Yeah.
So, and there's lots of places that we've not put together already. One of your dad's favorite places is Prague.
Yeah, it is.
And we do have a river cruise that ends up in Prague, or starts in Prague and goes the opposite direction. So that one is a possibility to be able to plan that. So we have river cruises that are on the Rhine, the Danube, the Elbe. We're in France on the Seine.
We are. Then there's Portugal. Yeah. Oh, what is the name of that river?
I don't remember that one. But that one's one that your mom and dad just went on, and they loved it.
They raved about it. Yeah. I'm still hearing about it, and it's been several months. So that should say something.
I wonder why they didn't take us on that one.
You know, I've been trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Maybe that's going to be something I bring up at Thanksgiving.
Okay, that's a good
So-
idea. Let me know how that goes.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry.
So, well, guys, if we don't have any other questions, we're going to go ahead and get signed off for the day.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But Rick, thanks for showing up today and watching us on the live stream. Loved spending time with you and Linda and the rest of the group while we were overseas. Look forward to the relationship that we're building with you and the rest of the people who have traveled with us for years and years and years. So look forward to many tours to come.
Yeah.
And
just as a quick note, we will be closed both Thursday and Friday. We're always closed on Fridays, but we're also being closed this Thursday because it's actually Thanksgiving. So
food again.
more food. But we just want to wish everyone, a good Thanksgiving and a happy Thanksgiving, and hope that everyone is safe for the holiday season. And then we'll pick back up next week. We'll have another stream on Tuesday. And then we'll maybe talk about our holiday schedule because we'll be closed a little bit later in December, but we won't talk about that today.
Yep. So if you're traveling, safe travels. We just pray that it's a great time spent with family over the holidays. Looking forward to spending time with our families and just spending time thanking God for all that He's done and what He continues to do in our lives. So we thank you for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you again next week. And